I think luxury brands encourage people to work for what they would like to spend their money on. I know that I have an expensive taste in some ways, so I would like to work hard and be able to afford the thing that I would really like to buy.
I don't necessarily think luxury brands are either good or bad. I just think they're a waste of money. I tend not to buy luxury brands myself unless it comes to things like food, because I think it's important to eat healthily. But other than that, electronics, cars, etc., I wouldn't buy luxury brands necessarily.
I don't really trust luxury brands, and maybe I don't really trust brands in general, because I think that where you're talking about big brands, I think companies have often spent so much on the marketing to get to that position where they've got a big brand that they haven't spent quite as much on the product itself and on the quality of the product. So I'm not really a believer in brands and the idea of buying brands myself. I think there's a very good quote about that kind of thing by a singer, I'm trying to remember who said the best firms advertise the least, and I think there's a lot of truth in that.
I think luxury brands are good in some ways and bad in others. Good in the sense that it's great to get innovations of one kind or another. It's good to get the economy going and getting those who can afford it to spend money to recycle in the economy. Bad in the sense that people who can't afford it aspire to have luxury branded goods, which in effect makes them spend a lot of money on some things that they may not need. So from that point of view, it's not a very good thing.
I think luxury brands are a good thing. I think it's really nice sometimes to treat yourself to something a little bit special. I don't think they're an essential thing. I think good old value packs have their place, but it is nice to treat yourself now and then to something luxurious. I like luxury brands. I like to treat myself now and then, but I don't think that they're necessarily any better than the good old value packs. I'd buy a little bit of both. So my orange juice might be value, but then my bread might be luxury. So I try to mix it up a bit and have a bit of everything in my life.
I think it affects society in such a way that people look at each other with envy and jealousy, wishing that they had something that they can't afford. My own attitude would be that if I can afford it, if I like something, then I'll buy it, but otherwise I'd choose to go for cheaper options.
Personally, I'm not really into luxury brands in a big way, but I have friends who are, and they say that it's terribly important. And I had a friend the other week we were talking about what one looks for in a partner. She said, "Oh, well, if they don't wear the right trainers, I'm simply not interested," which was baffling to me. But she explained it that this was a symbol of being into the same sorts of things as she was. So